my scotch and my Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. I keep my scotch and my Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. I keep my scotch and my Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. I keep my scotch and my Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. Let the skeletons dance to it, the fun and the amusement, the smoke and the confusion, Holy Ghost and some puking. But not while I'm cruising, I don't fuck with looking stupid. New sheriff in town, jury, judge, execution. In our constitution, all night prostitution, financial solution. Gotta keep my dollars boosting, gotta keep my money coming. 15s be humming, rocket engine be running. Old school still stunting. I'm bending corners from California back to Arizona and in between. We got plenty desert for organ donors. Mafia shit, 30 round Glock clip. Check the numbers in your clip before you get to mumbling shit. Better control your liquor, plus that bottom lip. Cowboys down here, we be tumbling bricks. You don't know about this legendary classic. Angels singing above caskets. My posse go out blasting. My Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. I keep my scotch and my Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. I keep my scotch and my Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. I keep my scotch and my Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. Them 26s stand tall on Flamingo and Caval. You niggas forgot how to be men while you trying to ball. So don't expect respect when you trying to make calls. We keeps a foot up a bitch's ass, and that is the law. Nigga, that is not all. Make that money fall like sun rays, gunplay one day, cause some say the man that stands on bones is alone on the throne. I keep this moon rocking this backwood while I'm getting some dome. If your horsepower ain't that good, leave that weak shit at home. Be prepared to catch this day before you squeeze on that chrome. Make your fucking grave with no name or no tombstone. If you don't like the way we move, you can get the fuck on. This the wild, wild west. We thrive on the wrong. High noon tycoon, we do this all day long. So you better break bread before your butter is gone. Cause the show ain't over until the ladies isn't thong. Keep my scotch and my Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. I keep my scotch and my Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. I keep my scotch and my Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. I keep my scotch and my Glock, a couple rocks in my watch. Just like a war cry. Should've stayed down, cause now it's crunch time. When I walk away and take everything that's mine, sacrifice your fate when you dropping a dime. The silver tongue devil drinking from the grapevine. The anger on this level can be called the hate crime. Justified before I'm tried, guess that's fine. How a nigga gon' provide and he ain't got spine? These begging ass niggas that ain't got no grind. That's why I drop a stack on the Krishna shrine. I keep one in the chamber and a switch on my 9. Then my victims stand in line. They gotta take a number and better bring a lunch. Full moon, I'm under with a werewolf's hunt. My witches got intuition and riches on the hunch. My family's a dynasty, they all get a cut. We don't believe in luck. The miracles are literal with physical bucks. Tinted windows invisible in that Maybach truck. Can't be seen. 21st century on that gangster lean, puffing on the finest green. Then I get away clean. They eyes wide shut, just like fentanyl fiends. And once they open up, it's the end of your dreams. I'm a solo nigga, known for taking whole teams. But I'll tell you one thing: by any means necessary, that's why I carry. By any means necessary, that's why I carry.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on for this Wednesday, December 11th, 2 o'clock on the PM? You understand? Over here, Las Vegas time, the money religion. We are here. Thank you all for showing up and being prompt and punctual. You understand? We got more people coming in. This is the guy 720, as you already know. We do have, I got to let the people know about the Kicked Out of Heaven, Volume 1, 2, and 3, Black Man's Bible, the Real Nigga Etiquette, the Ethereal Law for $100 right now. You get the Encyclopedia on the Alchemy of Women for free. Okay, it shows up right up in your email. And if you want to get just the Kicked Out of Heaven for $50, go to kickedoutofheaven.com. It is available. You understand me? So, yeah, we're here. How y'all feeling, man? What's going on? Y'all jump up in these comments. We are in the Sagittarius season. It is another fire sign. You understand? There's a lot of fire going on for this December. It's kind of ironic. Man, I ran into a lot of crazy information last night. But anyways, I ended up on Orlando Brown's wiki page, and come to find out he got the same birthday as Jay-Z. That's very interesting. I thought December 4th, you know. So, there's no safe space. I know this is a term that everybody's been using lately for maybe about the past year or two. I want to be safe. I want to be safe. I want to be safe, you know. And what people fail to realize, besides the whole fact that we are all involved in some form of war, that's what we are born into on planet Earth, that there's no safe space, you know. And the best tactic to use during the course of war, which you have seen with Jay-Z, is silence, you know, because silence births surprise, okay? And those are definitely the two top elements that you want to utilize during the course of war. And that's what we're all in. So to seek a safe space is sort of counterproductive. To seek a safe space is actually a vulnerability, you know, and once that vulnerability is brought into awareness by the predator or whoever is seeking, you know, whatever battle you're in, you will be attacked, okay? And that's just what it is. So, you know, the number one rule to the game is attack, 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 attack. You know, the second rule to the game is admit nothing. If you never want to lose, you do not admit defeat, you know. The brother says the QT is the safe space, and I think he's talking about the gas station in his local area, the Quick Trip, but or the female, the QT. No, you know, there's no safe space out here in the world. You know what I'm saying? Bombs are dropping on children as we speak. Israel is supposedly still attacking Syria. Everybody is going to court over something. You know, it wasn't a safe space for Albertsons and Kroger to merge with their deal that they were going to go through. It was a $20 billion deal, and they discovered that it was no safe space there. So Albertsons is going to counter the whole merge and sue Kroger for whatever discrepancies they discovered inside the due diligence. And this is, you know, what we're looking at. Was it a safe space for the CEO of the health situation? The CEO of United Health, who just got killed by this dude, you know, and I've been meaning to look that up. So let me look that up real quick. Um, United Health CEO murdered on what day was that? Oh, it happened on the 4th. But it's kind of interesting because I thought it happened on the 5th, and that's why I needed to look it up to get some confirmation on it. And the reason being is because this dude Luigi Mangione or whatever his name, that's definitely Italian. He and the reason why, yeah, let's talk about this for a minute because it is definitely correlated to the safe space. The CEO of the United Healthcare was just walking down the street on his way to a meeting, and he gets his brains blown out on the street, okay, in front of everybody, broad daylight. So where was the safe space for him? And what happened here is that there's no remorse being shown. Everybody is, who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Right? And the reason why is because the CEO of United Healthcare, sort of by default, sort of falls into the space of blame for a lot of people who have insurance, have health insurance through this company, and have been denied their assistance or have been denied, what was due to them for paying this insurance and being, and utilizing their services. So that is what happened with the cat Luigi, who I thought it happened on the 5th. And I was going to really, go into a whole what are we doing conspiracy theory thing because it lands in the space of, his face sort of looks like the mask that was used on the movie V for Vendetta. And the V for Vendetta was correlated around the 5th, the 5th, the 5th, the 5th. And the letter, the V in the Roman numeral system is the number 5. So, I thought there was going to be something unique there. I thought something was going to crack. There was some crazy juju, some MK Ultra type of thing going on. We don't know. But this is what we do know. This is what the American people have experienced by dealing with United Healthcare and other health providers, health insurance providers. Okay, what they have experienced is there is a failure to be prompt and to be serious on those who have been paying their insurance to you when it's time to go ahead and do deductibles or coverage or whatever that is going on. You see what I'm saying? And that is also why this dude Luigi carried out the deed. Okay, is because supposedly, and he was born into a family of promise. He had a promising future, is what they stated, and he was a trust fund baby, supposedly. So there was a lot of money in his background, and he states that he watched his mother go through some medical emergency, and the United Healthcare was denying assistance, was canceling plans and doing all of this other stuff, and which was leaving his mother in a bad health condition, and he had to witness the pain and the suffering that his mother went through, and due to the fact that the United Healthcare people were not moving abruptly. Now when it comes to the American mind frame, a lot of people are paying their insurances. A lot of people are, caught into a lot of situations with different insurance companies. If we were to look at situations that happened with Katrina, also things that happened with Helen and Milton, and why those things have been swept underneath the rug is because at the last minute there's technicalities that's written inside the contract. Oh, we don't provide insurance or any type of deductible if the wind tore down your house correlated to the hurricane. You see what I'm saying? Now that's just home insurance, which is a completely different thing than health insurance. I haven't had any situations where, I've experienced the negatives or the lack of assistance when it comes to health insurance companies. But they'll make you wait a year for a liver or something, make you wait a year for a kidney or whatever. They'll tell you, hey, we got to pull the plug on this individual that has the coma and whatnot. And one thing I know about existence is that you'll never be able to tell the extremes that somebody may take a thing to. So it is wise for you not to be too testy because you don't know what you're dealing with. Now, a lot of people in America, the higher ups, the CEOs of the companies, they think they're protected by, their corporate office and things of that nature, their security downstairs. And, they'll never be seen. And of course, the idea in business is to make as much money as possible for the corporation, which is supposed to be its own entity and body that is not directly, owned or dealing with the CEOs, the CFOs, and those who fulfill that corporation and carry out its duties. So, they think they're protected, and you're not. Nobody is protected. You understand, and we definitely saw that. And this individual, Luigi, carried out vengeance for his mother. And which is a noble thing to do, which is honorable. And I'm pretty sure there's individuals all across the country who have lost relatives and who have been charged, erroneous amounts of money because of situations that were supposedly taken care of by the insurance company. For instance, when we look at a situation, and then the medical industry itself has ridiculous charges, and they have these charges based upon what the insurance company is going to pay out. And I've seen things like saline inside of the hospital, which is basically salt water, is all saline is. A bag of saline in the hospital costs $800. Okay, and they use that water for I think blood filtration or blood transfusions or whatever the case. And I think in Cuba it only costs like $10 or something for the same saline bag of water and salt. So we have ridiculous charges going on by the hospitals themselves. Okay, and they charge these amounts because they're taxing the insurance companies, and the insurance companies just blindly pay it out. Well, that's not the case anymore, I guess. I don't know. I don't know the technicalities. I can only give you from what I've, experienced and seen and collected as data over time with certain situations, relatives and things of that nature, been in hospitals. And the insurance companies, are now getting a little bit more, I guess, technical with what is being written inside the papers on what they on the contracts that you fulfill out, on what they will and what they will not take care of. Now, if you were to, let's say I own a health insurance company, and you were to come to me and say, hey man, I need health insurance, blah, 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 and I say, okay, here goes the terms and conditions, here's the contract, and it's 800 fucking pages. You're not going to read all of that. And what's so phenomenal on the internet is that you don't even really see how thick terms and conditions really could be for whatever company that you're signing up to, because you're just scrolling on a screen. So you could just press the button on your mouse and make the sidebar go all the way down, and you've passed up everything, you checked everything, and you don't care. But what you fail to realize is that in those terms and conditions it states the soul. We will contain the soul. everything that you have. We will contain what your soul produces. We will own your children. We will own your children's children, is what they're writing on these terms and conditions and shit. Oh, we're not going to pay for this. We're not going to pay for that. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. And I'm pretty sure this whole insurance thing is why they're not showing you anything about what's going on with the Helene hurricane and what's going on with the Milton hurricane, because supposedly the catastrophes that have occurred from these hurricanes amount to deaths that are in comparison by number to Katrina and also to the 9/11 event, from what some people have stated on videos that I've seen. Some people are being listed as dead that aren't dead, because there's a mass amount of missing people. There's a mass amount of people who have been corroded and decomposed. Obviously, it's been damn near about a month and a half now, and they've decomposed inside the water and inside the mud, and water and mud is going to expedite corrosion. So then, we can't identify the decomposed bodies if we're going to use dental records, and then guess what? The local dentist office is also wiped out and gone. So we don't know how to identify. There's a lot of things going on. So then that involves life insurance. Our life insurance is going to be paying out. And then we also have to understand that there's a lot of scams going on. There's a lot of scams that hit the insurance companies in a multitude of different areas. Car insurance is definitely one of those areas where people, create false car accidents and things of that nature in order to get quick payouts. There's scams with the chiropractor, and there's scams with the doctors, and there's even scams with doctors and the health insurance companies. So a lot of people got to be very fragile on how they operate in these areas. But at the end of the day, from what I've witnessed, and most likely from what a lot of you have witnessed, the health insurance companies have slaughtered the American people. There's definitely situations of the elderly being shoved into the nursing homes, as I've told you before. Go ahead, if you find a system to be able to invest inside the nursing homes, go ahead and do that. And the reason why I say that is because you're going to get your money. Your money is going to double, triple, quadruple. And the reason why is because we are dealing with a very angry generation, a very separatist generation, a very entitled generation. And I'm talking about my generation, those at 35 to 45, And we have a lack of compromise. We don't want to compromise with our mates. We don't want to, quote unquote, settle. We all have these fantasies in our mind of the perfect mate that we're going to have and spend the rest of our days with, and ride off into the sunset on the Titanic, on the yacht, and these things are never going to happen. You dig what I'm saying? So there's definitely, because of that ignorance that my generation has, our death rate is going to be at an exponential speed. Okay, and I've heard many reports about this already occurring. Individuals at the age of 30, 35, even late 20s are showing up in nursing homes, and they got failed organs and things of that nature, and their family doesn't come and visit them, and their children doesn't come and visit them. And I've heard of cases where the nurses in these environments will they'll watch and see if anybody does come and visit an individual, and if the family doesn't come to visit them, they'll label them as a bad person, as if they've lived a bad life, and they treated people like shit, obviously, if nobody came to visit you. And they'll go ahead and pull the plug. The nurses will do specific things to go ahead and kill them off and get them out of the nursing home. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of these nursing homes, I wouldn't doubt it if individuals that are inside these corporations, these health insurance companies are actually going out and buying land in these areas to get nursing homes built, because they can look at the statistics to see what areas, are high in sugar, or what areas are high in tobacco intake, or what areas are high in alcohol intake. I'm pretty sure there's doctors in pocket that will write up the papers wrong to say, oh, we found traces of this alcohol inside this individual, and then when you signed up for this health insurance, you said that you don't drink alcohol. So now that you've lied, is how they impose it, we can't assist you with anything. There will be no payout. There will be no deductibles. You see? And this individual comes from the do-gooders, okay? He comes from the 1% of the of society, and he went out there and he blew this nigga's brains out because he's not gonna play no fucking games. And there's a lot of people out here who think they can play games. Let me see here. This is a good question. Let me see here. Let's go to this question. Is it true that more men are in the nursing home than women? Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Men live a more experienced life in the areas of the negatories than what women do. We drink more, we smoke more, we play sports. We're working very strenuous jobs that are very threatening towards our life and health. You know what I'm saying? So because of those elements alone, yeah, there's gonna be, men die off quicker than what women do. Experiences with war, experience with gangs, experience in prisons. These are things that males go through. So the life expectancy decreases because of that. And I wouldn't doubt it if there is more men in nursing homes than women, because women, in comparison of what men do in life, they really don't do shit. You sit behind a computer, you go to your little fucking call center job, and you put on makeup. You know what I'm saying? Like, if anything that's going to be attacking women is probably going to be health issues, obesity issues, heart attacks and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? I saw one situation where there's a whole town out there, by 98% are having heart attacks because 98% of the town took vaccinations. And we don't know how vaccinations are looked at by these health insurance companies, and we don't know the extent of what the vaccinations are capable of doing inside the human body. Okay, and these are all dangerous areas. That's why I'd be very, hardcore on telling the people don't have animals in your home, things of that nature, so on and so forth, because it violates your air passageways, and it's going to violate your lungs, and then it's going to violate your future, and hopefully you don't get violated like this United Healthcare CEO did, and nobody cares about it. No, and what's I don't want to say it's dangerous, but one thing that we all need to keep our eyes open for is the uprisal of the American population, because if anything, this is definitely a quote unquote sign of revolution here. Okay, this is a form of it. And what's really interesting is that this Luigi dude actually looks like the Unabomber. He looks just like the motherfucker. So I don't know if we're looking at MK Ultra. I don't know if we're looking at Manchurian Candidate. I don't know what the fuck we're looking at. You know what I'm saying? And That's the best way to go about it. You can always do a little guesstimation or a little throw in a probably, and try to figure it out. But what's the point in figuring it out? The best thing for you to figure out is your health and where to get some good fruits and where to get some good vegetables, and keep a maintenance of your body like that. Don't stress yourself out. But who knows? Where things can come from when it comes to your health. Nobody really knows. You don't know what's written for your demise off of this planet, for your departure. You know what I'm saying? So, the scary thing about it is, especially when we're talking about cancers or any other biological affliction, what we're talking about here is the consistency of a one thing. And that's what's very funny about, health. The best thing you could do in health is to submit to the law of existence, and the law of existence is that there will always be change. So you need to change up your diet. Never fall in love with something and consistently eat it every day or every week, or nothing like that. You have to have a cyclic nature, and your cycles are going to have to change. Never get fully adjusted to one type of food. Never get adjusted to a beef, never get adjusted to, just broccoli. You have to switch it up to asparagus. You have to switch it up to, if you're going to eat a New Orleans gumbo, with your okras and all of that up in it, make sure that you also eat you a Celtic stew. You dig what I'm saying? With some potatoes and some leeks and onions and garlic and things of that nature. You see? So you definitely want to switch it up. When it comes to the whole health picture. I'm not a guru on health. I'm not going to sit here and try to paint the picture like I'm some Dr. CB, but you can purchase the Dr. CB DVDs at themillenniumdvds.com. I've been told recently that they've taken all his films down off of the YouTube. So I find that interesting. I also had the Layla O Africa films as well, and I'll definitely promote his book, Holistic Health, which is a very good book, to get you a good basis on how health operates. You need to drink your teas, stay with some fruit juices. Don't be too never be consistent with the alcohol. Alcohol is a part of the American culture, so it would be wise not to even go down that lane. But as an adult, a corporate adult in America, alcohol is going to be around. It will be a part of the picture. You know what I'm saying? And I would advise to never drink a beer. Stay away from that as much as possible. Beer is definitely chemically based, chemically created, chemically, you have to understand that we're just on the consumer side of stuff. So we see products inside the store, and that's about the most of it. By the majority rule, when we look at the facilities where these chemicals are made, these individuals are walking around in suits like they're at the outbreak, and they got the mask on and all this other shit, volatile shit, but they're feeding it to us. So you definitely have to watch out for things that are especially culturally marketed and advertised, and what I mean by that is products like a strawberryta. Don't do that. That's dangerous shit, Products like a MD 2020, anything with colors in it. And we see that supposedly the feds in America are going to be attacking the color dyes in foods. So there might be a lot of foods that are wiped off of our common shelves, and that will create a lot of anger and great big back mammy. You understand? There's a lot of obese, lack of self-control fools out here that are going to mandate their shrimp and their crab cake. Okay. And the octopus and all of this other shit. Backwards ass foods that are not needed in America. They're not needed for experimentation with consumption. Stay away from, the Chinese diet is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? don't fuck around, man, because you might end up in some very, very nasty situations. I saw an article the other day where, a dog licked a dude on his face. He went to the park for a little meeting with the family. The dog ran up to him and licked him on the face, and some bacteria was on the dog's tongue. Come to find out, this dude has to go to the hospital. He went to the hospital. They had to cut off his nose. They had to cut off both arms, and they had to cut off both legs because of some bacteria that was on. And it was a bacteria. It wasn't even a parasite. Some bacteria that was on the dog's tongue that affected him in such way. You see what I'm saying? So that is definitely one of those examples that shows everything that I'll be talking about having these animals in your house and all that other shit. You see what I'm saying? It's very, very dangerous. You don't know what you're going to encounter. We don't know what these motherfuckers got up in these chemtrails. We don't know what we're inhaling. We don't know. So you gotta, and I'm glad I stated that about inhaling, because I didn't go down this. If you got a snotty nose, go ahead and put some tea tree oil underneath your nose. It'll clear up the snot in your nose. Eat some cayenne pepper. Keep a little cayenne pepper in some of your dishes, for inflammation. If you and one thing that knocks down inflammation real good is that hot, spicy Chinese mustard they used to have when we were kids that they took off the shelves. If you notice during the whole course of the COVID situation, that a lot of spicy foods were depleted out of the store. If you're cooking a meat, I'll give you this tip, and I got this from some Mexican homies. Put lemon in your meat while you're cooking it, and then also put some jalapeno juice from the jar. Sprinkles, put some jalapeno juice on the meat while you're cooking it, and it'll get all the impurities out. Okay, you could do this for chicken, especially. A good meat to eat is bison. Bison is coming into a popularity now because eating bison and then eating beef, you can definitely feel a difference. And that difference, and the difference in the taste, and the difference in the waste, and the difference in the digestion, clearly tells you that beef is fucked up, that the farms are fucked up, and something is fucked up over there, because you do not feel that, that lethargicness, that, that lazy-itis zone when you consume bison. So bison is now becoming a popular. They even slipped in a little bison over here at the Walmart. I wouldn't suggest you buy your bison from Walmart. Anything that's, from the market fresh at Walmart, stay away from all those products, because those are store-made products. What a lot of people don't know about Walmart is that about 70% of the products that are in there are actually created by Walmart. And they just have different company labels and different, and it's mother companies, and then you got all the subcategory companies. So they have a lot of subcategory companies that create all these other products. So when you actually think you're getting the sugar-free or the healthy version of some shit, that shit was also made by the Walmart company. This is what a lot of people don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, there's no safe space. There's not even a safe space in our food. They claim it's a safe place and a safe space to go out clubbing, and niggas get scanned for guns, and what ends up happening, there's still some form of shootout. There's never a safe space. You get pulled over by the police. You can make that experience safe by being compliant. How you doing today, sir? Yeah. Okay, and he'll immediately tell you what he pulled you over for, and just, go with the issue. You know what I'm saying? You can always heal things if there's ever a high, vibrant moment. You can always heal things with a little laughter, you know what I'm saying? Or, I appreciate what you do for the community. I always say that shit to the police, you know what I'm saying? It's because they work a very hard situation, and it goes back to what I was meaning to say earlier when I was talking about the Luigi situation. A lot of Americans In today's age, they operate in this fashion like it's only them in existence. And I never operate like that. I don't think like that. I'm a father. I can't. My children are in existence. Their mother is in existence. The women I've been with in my life are in existence. The people, everything is in existence and everything is to be considered. You see what I'm saying? So when you're dealing with the police officer, understand that you just, went a little bit over the speed limit. He needs to cop that ticket real quick because you violated. Now you must pay, and that's just the name of the game. But this same officer just left some crystal meth house where, a little kid was goddamn about to be trafficked or is being trafficked. And it's a crazy situation. But the majority of people who don't expand their minds with the possibilities of existence, they live in this tunnel vision space where they only think it's them. And that's not the case at all. It's never just you. There's 8 billion people on the planet. Therefore, there's 8 billion different stories of things that have occurred. There's what? Maybe a trillion more traumatic situations that have affected these 8 billion people. You dig what I'm saying? So never get into this mind frame where it's just you. You don't know what the next person is going through. You don't know how the next person may feel or may perceive a situation and how they may react to it as well. And you don't want to be on the end stick of that reaction. You dig what I'm saying? Like this individual was, because you see the CEO, he didn't know nothing about this this Luigi dude and his family and the whole situation, but he did control it from the up and ups. Usually in situations like this, the only one that was aware of Luigi's situation by details most likely is just the regional manager that's over that department, over that region. You know what I'm saying? It didn't reach all the way up to the CEO, but the CEOs and the CFOs and things of that nature do have control over the policy. And that is where everybody is going to be reliant upon in the corporation. That is their safe space. The corporation's safe space, regardless of what industry you're dealing with, is going to be, the policies that they hide behind, and if you want to get irate, and if you don't agree with these policies, you have one or two options. You can either, go in there and try to be great, bandito and hero. You want to be Zorro, and you're going to go in there and causing a problem, and you will be arrested, okay? And then you will have more problems. And that's why you want to stay the fuck away from court, because one thing about court is that they know, nigga, this is my job. And I can sit on my ass and fuck around with this goddamn computer and do whatever the fuck I want for whatever extent of time. I don't give a fuck about why you're here or what you need to handle. And I will brush you off with, 2-3 word sentences. Oh, we'll be right back. Oh, we'll be right with you. Oh, da 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 da. And you sitting there for hours and hours and you got other things to do. You dig what I'm saying? So don't fall into the hands of the court situation. Now, if you're not going to get irate, the only other way you can attack a corporation is going to be by lawsuit, and you have to make them pay. And usually when you're in the situation to win, you're going to get the big payout, but the payout that occurs isn't really going to affect their money. They're not, collapsing as a corporation because they paid you out a couple of million. That's not how it's working. You have to understand that there's a large amount of insurance companies in America that actually got their first big money off of the American slave trade, if we're going to get technical. Now, this whole insurance space is definitely a space that's been operating in old Europe in medieval times, even though I didn't cover insurance in the medieval times, but it was definitely there, because, and we could witness this not only in a couple of the stories of individuals killing their wife or killing their husband for insurance payouts, which is a situation that's been going on since the 1600s and 1500s in old Europe. And when it comes to us natives, we didn't have systems like that in place. We didn't know anything about no fucking insurance in the 1600s. You dig what I'm saying? But we can also find that in my book, Real Nigga Etiquette Voodoo Edition, with a lot of the slave ships that were actually intentionally sunk with Africans on the ship in order to get insurance payouts. There's many insurance companies in America that have been thriving. I think Aetna is one of them. Now, don't quote me. Do your own due diligence and research on that. But I do believe Aetna is one of them. But there's others insurance companies that have made a lot of money off of the African American slave trade. There was systems in place in America where slaves had insurance on their heads. Okay, and this is also why some slave homes were burnt down to the ground for the claim of a fire. And if we pay attention, when it comes to the history of the mob, most definitely setting a restaurant on fire that had insurance and things of that nature was a great payout. Just like the biggest conspiracy was the payout for the World Trade Center, which was also dependent upon insurance companies. And if you can write a check that large, my nigga, you got some chips in the pocket. You dig what I'm saying? So nothing is a safe space. The food isn't safe. Shit nowadays, mating, fucking your girl, getting the one night stand type of thing. Oh my God, you are really gambling, brother. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. The STD rates and the AIDS rates and all of that shit are fucking skyrocket out here. You dig what I'm saying? So it's a gamble. There's no safe space there. There's no safe space with the constant consumption of Coca-Cola and your Sprites and whatnot, and the high fructose corn syrup. There's a lot of shit, man. Oh yeah, New York Life. I think that is one of those insurance companies that was eating big back in the 1700s, 1800s. There's a lot of them. That's why it makes me a little upset sometimes that these companies have been thriving for 200, 300 years, and the average black person of today can't keep a company going for 5 years, and we don't have enough assistance within that space. And even if we did have assistance, we do need that assistance to be educated in the realm in order to keep the company going, and we don't have that. The trust factor in between us is very, 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 very low. So these are the systems that's going, and I mean, to even bounce back on that trust issue, that's part of the reason why a lot of the black cities of America, like Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood, Florida, Idlewild, Michigan, you got Durham, North Carolina, you got Slocum, Texas, you got a lot of these black cities that were all across the country, even Sun Village, California, which is a city that I'm on the council of. When we look at what the details of what was going on during that time period, the reason why a lot of those cities got burned down, what we don't know is that those black cities had their trust factor upon themselves, meaning they kept their money. So when the bank system crashed in the 1930s, the first Great Depression occurred. That only happened for white folk. Black people were straight. They had all their money in their cities, and they didn't put their money in white banks. And that was a big red flag for Western civilization. And they said, no, we can't have that type of shit going. So we have to reorganize our system so we can develop a little bit more, so we can get trust out of the next generation. And the way they did that was by wiping out the prior generation. When you wipe out the prior generation, you can do whatever the fuck you want to with the new generation. And that is definitely a science Europeans have been operating by for a very long time. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, so that is definitely the case. There's no safe space out here, people. The ladies need to stop asking for a safe space. A man is going to be able to do whatever the fuck he can do to protect you, and that's going to be based upon his physicality and also his intelligence. and intelligence is first. Physicality is definitely, it's right there. It's 70-30 type of deal. And then, because situations are going to come, and we don't need to install a mind of and demanding a space of being a coward by looking for a safe space or thinking that a safe space is required in this existence. That's not how it works. It doesn't work like that for no being on this planet. The Eagles had a safe space until planes came up there and started sucking them in the engines and shit. You know what I'm saying? The sharks and the jellyfish, they had a safe space before submarines was down there, before we started spilling oil every goddamn where. You understand? And then they don't have a safe space overall because in the animal kingdom, you have to eat another animal in order to survive. So when it comes down to it, what happens is that you will fight amongst your own breed, but you will kill other species. Is how it operates. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna fight each other, and that fighting is for the perfection of war, is for the perfection of protection. But you will also have to devour and kill other species in order for you to eat. You dig? And that's how this existence has always been. You see? So when it comes down to the women who are definitely scared and they haven't been educated by the mammies and the grannies to tell them, yo, you're going to be manipulated. You like manipulation. Invite the manipulation. And the only thing you can really do is develop a skill in your mind on how to place proper discernment on the manipulation that is in front of you, because you are going to be seduced. And guess what? You also have to do the seducing. You see how this shit works? So there's never a safe space. You don't even find females themselves who be looking for a safe space can't even find a safe space when taking a picture. They got to use a goddamn filter. You see what I'm saying? And the filter is definitely a setup for being a loser. Don't put any type of extra shit on your pictures. No, stop working these goddamn tricky ass, devilish ass angles you doing with the witchcraft. We don't need the witchcraft angles. We don't need the pictures in the black. We don't need the filters. And the reason being is because when you do that, the man thinks he sees something and his mind is set up on what he sees on the camera. Then, on the picture. Then when he sees you face to face, the soul plummets. You have crashed the soul. You see? And then everything cuts off. And then the man is sitting there like, oh my God, this bitch is the fucking hag. What the fuck am I going to do with the hag? I can't do anything with this. You have lied to him, and now you are no longer in a safe space, ladies. So if you want to be in a safe space, you better stick off of one word. It's called originality. It's called reality, because when you understand reality, now you're safe, because you can predict what's going to be the outcome of certain situations by putting your mathematical discernment to it. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so you know what you're dealing with at all times, and that's the best way that you're going to be able to develop a safe space, is by knowing what to dodge and what to take on. Pick your battles wisely. You understand me? Because this whole environment is nothing but battling. You see what I'm saying? Having a gun does not make you safe. You know what I'm saying? Somebody can draw their pistol quicker than you can draw yours. If somebody walks up to you with the pistol out already, the pistol on your hip does nothing. You're blown away in seconds. You dig what I'm saying? So guns don't guarantee a safe space. Your vehicle doesn't guarantee a safe space. You can get sideswiped. Some drunk ran the red light, and now you're done. There's no safe space anywhere. Having your phone on is not a safe space. So it's best for you to go back into the original skills of memorizing things. Memorize how to get places. Memorize your phone numbers. Memorize the addresses. Memorize social security numbers. Memorize as much as possible. The best way to keep up your memory is to memorize rap songs, the rap songs that came from the 90s, because there's a certain mechanism, there's a certain speed, and the way the words are flowing, and also the pattern of the beat, which correlates to the pattern of the heart, which is synced well. So then when it's going to be easier for you to memorize things, because you already have other things memorized. If you sit here and fuck around with all them goddamn computer sounds up in your music and shit, you it's gonna distort your brain where you can't even be dependent upon your own mind. You know what I'm saying? And the development of dependency is definitely the weakness of man. Do you understand? So don't depend on a goddamn thing, because it will crack one day. And what's going to further secure a safe space for you is proper maintenance. And everything has to be maintained. Bridges have to be maintained. Cars have to be maintained. Trains have to be maintained. Your relationships have to be maintained. Okay, they have to be maintained by a consistency of communication. There's gifts, there's good times, there's also bad times. Developing your brain on how to be, on how to de-escalate situations. When it comes to arguments, when it comes to things of this nature, always try to steer things into the good. Never pick on a space of pettiness to try to express some form of egotism or superiority over your mate or over your children. You dig what I'm saying? Or over those individuals that are in your life, because the ego and the lack of coming to common ground could definitely, put a hole in a relationship that was designed to make billions of dollars together. And now you can't do that because of how you feel. You see, because of phrases that you built up in your head towards this person that accidentally spilt out during the course of a argument. You see, you've said volatile things that wasn't necessary to be said. Sometimes people feel attacked when you didn't attack them at all, and they just read the phrase or took the phrase that you stated into a negative situation. Some people are wired for negativity. If a child gets abused too much, and unnecessarily abused, basically abused in areas of what you want to call tactics and enforced, what happens is this person's mind will be wired on the negative side of their astrology. Astrology is a positive and a negative. So you have positive operations of your, which would also be the offense of your zodiac sign, and then you have negatives, and those negatives will be defense. You see, so if a child gets abused too much, their whole system will merge into the negative side complex of their astrology, and they'll be constantly on defense. And these individuals sometimes can take things that you say, and you didn't say anything out of bad nature to what your understanding is. They will take things that you say and take offense to it. And they'll also try to spite you back, or they'll also try to, hurt you because they feel hurt, even though you had no intention for hurting them. Always ask for explanations on things that are being stated. Never be quick to think that you know the totality of what somebody's saying or what somebody is trying to express. You see what I'm saying? Because you could really fuck up very good relationships with that shit. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we are going through a couple of retrogrades right now. There's a Mars retrograde that we're in right now. I think there's also a Mercury retrograde that's spinning right now. It's all types of retrograde. It's like, yeah, whatever the fuck. Retrograde these bills, nigga. As a matter of fact, donate, because I had to goddamn pay a lot of bills today, nigga, shit. Donate to the God 720, okay? We gonna keep it real around this motherfucker. Yeah, I've never heard my parents say anything about a retrograde, and this definitely is in sync with a lot of the things that my generation has to take care of, including the health insurance game. So we got to stay on top of this health insurance and life insurance and all this other shit. And then when the scenario goes down, they say, oh, we can't pay you this because there's a technicality here and there, and it doesn't suffice. We sent out our adjuster and the adjuster doesn't agree, and we ain't paying you niggas shit. And you didn't give these motherfuckers money for 30, 40 years. I've seen situations like that. There's been news articles on it, of one lady. She was paying the insurance $270 a month for like 30 years. And her insurance collapsed, I guess, because she moved to a new location and the rates went up because of the location that she went to, and she didn't know anything about it, and she just kept on paying the amount that she was supposed to pay monthly. And then when she died, the life insurance company was like, "Nah, there ain't no payout. You motherfucker, y'all niggas are still in debt." And the family was irate. They was fucking pissed. You know what I'm saying? So the whole insurance thing is a crazy game. We're gonna have to work on that, because when somebody dies, it doesn't cost $5,000, $10,000 to bury this individual. I think that is, erroneous. It's not necessary. There's different ways. I know me. When I pass, put my body on a plank, wrap me in a white sheet, and then launch me into outer space, because I'd rather float for eons in outer space than be around the motherfucking human. Do you understand me? Do you understand me? Now they got another system that's kind of interesting, where they take the body and they take a baby tree and they put you in the sack. They put the baby tree's roots in the sack where your body is at, and then they bury you. And then you fertilize the tree, and basically breathe through the tree is how it's supposed. Your soul is now embedded in the tree. Is supposedly how it works. I thought that was a very unique system. But they got a lot of different systems out here. I don't think, putting them in these big heavy caskets with the big heavy lids and doing all this other type of shit is truly necessary. But then again, the American people have been taught to operate off of emotions, and we don't operate off of the facts of existence. And death is definitely a part of life, and death is definitely a part of life. So we all need to be a little bit accustomed to that. It's just a rule of this dimension, and something you can't get around. You know what I'm saying? So there's never a safe space, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to put that out here today. We need to stop trying to use that term. We need, for the ladies that are listening, please stop. Just know that there is no safe space. And if you are really in desire of a safe space, then what you need to do is go ultra submissive, okay, and seek the Hercules. You know what I'm saying? And maybe you'll be a little bit more comfortable with your conditions and how you're operating day to day, because you have Hercules in pocket. You dig what I'm saying? But yeah, there's never a safe space out here. That's all, bullshit. Yeah, and that's something that is, you cannot demand. There's not an insect on this planet that can demand it. There's not a human being on this planet that can demand it. There is not a mammal. There is not a lizard. There is not a snake. There's not a fish that can mandate any form of safe space. You are in the jungle, and it is wise for you to carry great club to crack against the skull if you do feel attacked in any way. You dig what I'm saying? So, yeah, there's always cameras out. There's microphones everywhere documenting everything you fucking doing. The safe place or the safe space bullshit is a bunch of sack of the bullshit. So if you don't understand how to operate out here and you don't feel thoroughly comfortable with your decision making, I have provided materials so you can understand this environment way greater. So buy the books now. Do you understand me? They kicked out of heaven the untold history of the white races, where they definitely didn't have no safe spaces up in there. You can see that with the first chapter, of the natural disasters. Ain't no, and we just went through some natural disasters with these tornadoes. So how could you even think that there's any form of safe space when you have the weather attacking you? You dig what I'm saying? Like, the shit is phenomenal. Um, the shit is definitely phenomenal. It's sad that that a lot of people are trying to enforce this Disney world that we're supposed to be living in, and everybody's wearing a helmet with the fucking with the wear a helmet on their bicycle with the trainer wheels on it and shit. That is not the world we live in. You dig what I'm saying? If you got to fight somebody, make sure it's done on grass. Don't do that. That was definitely a rule back in the day. That if you was to fight somebody, y'all got to go fight on grass. Don't fight on the concrete. Because you can fall, you can twist an ankle, you can crack your skull, you can crack your neck. Fall. I saw one fight. This girl hit this girl, and she fell back, and she fell on the curb, cracked her neck, and died right there. So now old girl got to go to jail for a murder. You dig what I'm saying? So if you got to fight somebody so we can answer all the questions and stop with the debate and stop with the fucking nemesis and the confrontation, then do it on the grass. You know what I'm saying? Be wise about the shit that you do. There's ways to place boundaries around everything. You know what I'm saying? But then in essence, never think that, you're going to be coming out of this planet unscathed. Everybody gets scarred. Everybody is going to bleed. Everybody is going to cry. Everybody is going to sweat. I'm not going to say everybody's going to break a bone, because that may not necessarily occur, but you will feel the sting in your emotions. You will witness the death. You will attend the funeral. You will attend the marriage. You will attend the graduation. You will attend the birth. You will have, you will become an uncle. You will be a nephew. You will have a niece. You will become the auntie. These things occur. So let's stop. And see, for those who live in a space of momentary, they're only worried about what they feel for the moment, they're setting themselves up for great destruction. Never think in the space of the moment. The most wise thing to do in this environment is to think futuristically. You know what I'm saying? And try to predict what is going to occur to the best of your ability. And if you fail within your predictions, just take that as a note to develop a better processor for situations, so you can see what the predictions are going to be, and you'll fine tune the system, and your predictions will start coming out right. But that's only going to happen if you continuously test your line. And sometimes you might go through a hardcore negative space of testing where everything is wrong, and it might stay wrong for 20, 30 times, and then before you know it, you uptick, and then the 31 and so on and so forth. You're soaring now. You're flying now. You are the eagle. You are the hawk. You are the sparrow. You know what I'm saying? And you're out here flying. Okay, and you can make it on your own, and that is the goal in life. You dig what I'm saying? And there is no safe space when you have to jump off the porch, and when you have to go out here into the world and journey and figure things out on your own. There's going to be a lot of swindling. There's going to be a lot of scamming. There's going to be a lot of games and bullshit that comes your way. And that's one thing the average American knows when it comes especially to all of these insurances and shit. Like paying liability for car insurance. Like, what the fuck is that about? You're paying $150, $200 a fucking month for a car. If you get into an accident with a car, you are liable. This is all I'm saying. So I don't see, what the big deal is, but supposedly it's a cloak that people wear for their protection, and somebody that you have to go through a quote-unquote filter, what I'm saying, is all the insurance companies really are. And there's no promises, So that's all there is to it. There's no promises out here, There's no promises. You want to try to take your children to the Catholic school, boy, they are doing some heinous shit over there. You know what I'm saying? You want to take your children to the mosque, to the masjid, and they want him to drive his car into the building and blow it up so he can get 72 virgins when he dies and shit. Like, what? There's no safe space nowhere around this motherfucker. You dig what I'm saying? You go with your cronies with the sticks to go catch an animal in the woods, and then you step on the poisonous slug and you die. You dig what I'm saying? It happens, my nigga. You cannot dodge what is written for you. You see what I'm saying? So there's no safe space. I wish people stopped talking that stupid shit. And I wish, the ladies would stop fucking trying to enforce the fact that somebody needs to keep you safe. Ain't no fucking safe. Grow some thick fucking skin, because that's the way it's always been on this planet. You understand me? You've had to have thick skin to be out there doing the John Henry and fucking building the fucking railroad. You had to have the thick skin out here to be the Paul Bunyan. You had to have the thick skin to be out here, developing, cargo ships and maintaining the bridges and all of this other shit that's going on, in the world. There's never been a safe space, so we definitely got to knock that out of the psyche, and get ready, you know what I'm saying? Get ready for great Rambo, draw the black lines underneath your eyeballs and prepare yourself for war, because that's what everything is, as we have just witnessed. Even when it came to our presidency, there was great war that occurred right in front of us. And I'm glad it played out with the victor as it has, Yeah, let's talk about that. That was good. The C.A. Bruin states that the feminist psychologic talking points, safe space. I noticed a few days ago they don't talk about ancestors anymore. Yeah, I don't talk about no damn ancestors. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what to do with no ancestors. From how we're thinking and operating right now is an embarrassment to our ancestors. Even our current status with the president, I'm not saying this against Trump, is an embarrassment towards a John Adams and the presidents of yesteryear who would get out there and duel with another president or somebody else from a government seat if they were in an argument with each other, and to shoot with the musket ball, World War I, individuals getting their whole face torn off and had to get replaced. Or what about the jungle? When we talk about the children that were in these factories and warehouses getting their fingers cut off, getting their hands cut off, getting their feet cut off to make equipment for our new industrialized world. You dig what I'm saying? And in order to get you your canned food to your door, you see what I'm saying? That's why a lot of this new generation doesn't want to look at the yesteryear, because it shows how strong humans have been and how strong humans can be, and that it takes a mass amount of work in order to acquire that level of strength. And you niggas is sitting over here with pajamas playing fucking video games all day. For you to look at the humans of the yesteryear, it automatically crushes your self-esteem. It automatically crushes who you thought you were and all this so-called quote-unquote toughness. You know what I'm saying? For instance, I think like Jack Johnson, them niggas in the boxing matches back in those days used to fight like 100 rounds and shit. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you go back to like the old football games, there was scores of like 200 points over 47 points and shit. They're like, what the fuck? Them niggas was putting in mass amounts of work because there was nothing in the way. We got a lot of psychological bullshit that we're allowing into our dimension and that we're creating in our dimension in order to use as excuses to further encourage weakness. We want to have a king size bed or the California size bed and all that other shit. Nigga, do what is required, what's needed. You dig what I'm saying? Now, it's definitely wise to go after your wants, because your wants are superior to your needs. Because you see, you may need a house, but if you want a mansion is in essence a house. So, it's best to go after your wants, but make it something that is attainable. Put it in the space of, accessible visions. You dig what I'm saying? Don't put it in a space that is fucking outlandish, because then you'll never have it. You'll never attain it because it's not in, your picture, and you're not putting in the work in order to get that level. You dig what I'm saying? Um uh yeah. So I was reading some comments. Yeah, y'all put in some comments. If y'all got some questions, go ahead and lay them out right now. You got some statements that you want me to go ahead and speak, go ahead and put it out right now. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to do this video today. Tomorrow, we will definitely be here at 2 o'clock to speak with the family and let the, um, you know, let me see here. Let that, we'll speak on a different subject tomorrow. My bad about that. I was getting so many messages on my phone. I had to check it real quick, but I'm sorry about that. So yeah, that's where we're at. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever think anything's safe. When you read the Kicked Out of Heaven, you will definitely understand that the individuals that have power over your every single day, your daily life, and all the decisions that you make are not individuals who understand the safe space. What they understand is prevention, and they also understand attacking. Okay, and from the atrocities that they've committed across the world, you best believe that they had their defense up at all times for anybody who wants to think in any space that is against the democracy, as they would term it. You dig what I'm saying? So they don't want any retaliation, and there's definitely a guilt trip in that space. You know what I'm saying? There's definitely, but I don't believe that the apology has been too hardcore. Reparations is definitely a situation that should be considered. But at the same time, I don't believe in encouraging any form of laziness. You dig? And that might do that. So there's a wibble wobble space there, right there with that. So, don't think in the space of everything has to be safe for you. It's very funny watching individuals getting arrested by the police, and they're saying, I don't feel safe, and I don't feel safe. I seen one lady get pulled over by the cops and says, I'm not getting out of the car until, I'm going to call the cops, And you call the cops, and the cops are right there, you know what I'm saying? And this world is not designed where everybody is here to help you. Nobody gives a fuck about your issue. And it's always best for you to put it in your brain that nobody gives a fuck about your issue, because therefore you will get it done by yourself. And what is the phrase that they tried to erase from our modernization is, if you want something done right, you do it yourself. When was the last time you heard that phrase? You see what I'm saying? They tried to erase that because they want everybody to be in this nasty COVID connected, we are relatable, we're all attached to each other shit. And you can only be attached to people like that in the public when you don't know what type of private environment that they come out of, which could be extremely detestable to your measures and judgments. You dig what I'm saying? So all that connected shit, nigga, please, we not gonna do that, my nigga. No. You know what I'm saying? So watch out who you extend yourself for, because everybody does not have a value to be extended for. Give a fuck about those who give a fuck about themselves. You know what I'm saying? And anybody who gives a fuck about themselves knows goddamn well that this planet is not built in the position of a safe space or place. You understand what I'm saying? Shit, the movies explain that to you. Ain't nothing safe space out here. Women wasn't talking about looking for no safe space when they was watching that 50 Shades of Grey. And were they? Exactly. You ain't looking for no safe space when your ass be expecting dude to put you through some BDSM and shit. The fuck is you talking about? You ain't looking for no safe space when you want the great Conan to motherfucking pull your hair and tug you around the goddamn room. You ain't looking for no safe space. Yeah, I don't want to hear this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. So Yeah, let me go ahead, get up out of here, put my shit here. Y'all, I ain't got no donations this week. I appreciate those who have donated in prior times, but a nigga need the shit every day. You understand me? And I'm gonna be here because this is the job that I do. You know, this is what was a part of my destiny, was to be here for you and many more that's out here in the world. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm going to go ahead and stick to the order that has been called upon me. You dig what I'm saying? And there's a lot of other things that I would like to do videos on, and even do documentaries and things of that nature. But man, a lot of the stuff that I do is volatile, you know, to the status quo, is volatile to what is politically correct, you know, and there needs to be a safe haven. And the biggest form of safety that you're going to ever get out here is going to be money, large money, as much of it as possible money. You dig what I'm saying? And until that is done, a nigga got to be very weary about what I put out here into the public space, because if my head gets cut off, I don't think anybody's going to be there to catch it in the basket. You dig what I'm saying? They're just going to let it roll and probably kick it around like a soccer ball. Niggas ain't finna... Niggas don't give a fuck. You dig what I'm saying? And that's what experience has taught me. So, you know, that's where I'm going to leave it. You dig what I'm saying? This is law. So, yeah, I definitely appreciate y'all coming through today, kicking it. I wish y'all it was a lot more lively over here in the comments, but maybe that'll occur tomorrow. Y'all be here 2 o'clock tomorrow on Thursday, December 12th. You dig what I'm saying? And we will be going over another subject, keeping it real, rough, rugged, raw. You understand? The 4 R's. You understand me? So, yeah, like I stated, purchase the books, go to the Millennium DVDs, Cash App, donate, assist a nigga. I'm assisting you, giving you this space to feel free and get some real game. You dig what I'm saying? And I am out of here. Peace.
Day, creep by night. Jesus, the only type of letter she lie. Living my life, don't ask why. Seems like we been doing everything right. Drink so nice, we roll tight. Catching my vibe on the dark side. Coming around me with negativity, I'm kudo. Them niggas ain't real, man, them motherfuckers pseudo. I'm jumping through loopholes, yeah, kudos. It's been a stain on the game, and I'm no removal. I move on cold, down all 10 toes. Know how to get low, we can play limbo. I just wanna come alive. Still trying to catch a vibe. I'm shining so bright.
Under the moonlight, a nigga move right. Now the bitch wanna fight. Soon as I hit the turnpike, she learned about the pipe, how I've earned stripes. Now she quiet like church mice, thinking about flight. All you had to do was chill, fuck lies, keep it real, control those emotions, cause the money don't feel. We can continue on the mission for a meal. The secrets of the alchemist are yet to be revealed. Niggas learn lessons cause the weapons they conceal. Everybody living on the edge cause of the thrill. We all dance in Wonderland, taking these pills. Reality only hits once you gotta pay bills.
now.
We battle with the gods under 1,000,000 stars. We battle with the gods under 1,000,000 stars. We battle with the gods under 1,000,000 stars. There's lion blood in my chalice, a goat heart in the balance. I speak in italics, discussing these chances. In the Eiffel Tower of Paris, my chariot, the color is metallic. A wonderland to Alice, it's all blunder and malice. Best talent that's combined with magic. Behind the static, there's voices in the shadow. The only choice is battle. Hop into Hellcat and skedaddle. They watching King Kong climb the Tower of Babel. Ignore every Eve trying to give me an apple. The little rascal that can't be canceled. In the courtyard of my castle, these hens doing nothing but cackle. Now they walking in my chapel with candles that's lit. Definitely with the shits, cause we handle it. Met with the building that is brick by brick. Old Mac, big head, can't tell me shit. Capoeira with the spiral kick, spit hieroglyphs when the tyrants sit at the Coliseum. Whether spies or allies, I know them when I see them. Greet them with an olive branch, that's for the treason. Watch Pocahontas rain dance for the season. Is he still breathing? After the execution, they blame spirits and start the accusing. And then survive every disaster and delusion. Supreme mathematics, the author of confusion. Niggas be cheating and they still losing. Bones in my blank keep me tuned and influenced by the moon sin. A lunatic in a truant skin. A boogeyman with a heart like a ruby gem. A whirlwind I twirl in the middle of tornadoes. Between riddles and fables, keep my Glock on the table. Shot of scotch keeps me stable. Watching divas belly dance with diamonds in their navel. We rode on sound waves that was wavy for a label. And while you getting hung by the TV cable, I was ready and able. The black amour that raised you from the grave to the cradle. We battle with the gods under 1,000,000 stars. We battle with the gods under 1,000,000 stars.